hear my elbow?
You're listening to The Scrimmage with Daniel Hargrove and Justin Domashevitz.
All of my mistakes were cleared away by technical difficulties. What you didn't know is I completely flubbed the last intro.
I liked it.
But I started talking during the music because I still don't know how to pronounce his name.
Njigba.
Okay, so it's exactly how it looks.
I don't know.
Njigba.
Sounds right.
Njigba.
I think that's the way they were pronouncing it during the draft. Andrew, does that sound right?
Yeah, it's Njigba.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not going to get into other hard names to pronounce and stuff like that.
Antetokounmpo.
That one you just say it fast. Like you look at it
Like
and then you
Worcestershire
just go,
sauce.
Antetokounmpo.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcester sauce. Crap. That is like saying banana. Sometimes you just have a hard time knowing when to stop. Banana, and you're like, when do I stop this word? No, that's spelling banana. That's what it is. It's not saying banana. It's spelling banana.
Did you say smelling a banana?
No, spelling.
And spelling Mississippi.
B-A-N-A-N-A-N-A.
I heard smelling a banana is a good way to fight muscle cramps.
Just smelling it?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
I don't know.
That sounds false.
Yeah, probably.
Because
I'm not a doctor.
I have muscle cramps.
Fake news.
I feel like I need to eat those bananas.
I'm Justin Domashevitz. Daniel Hargrove here with me, our trusty producer. Andrew Gross is here as well. This time, making sure the live feed goes on as planned. We're going to talk about NFL draft.
Yes.
We're going to talk about local sports, and we're going to name an athlete of the week from some very deserving candidates.
I hear there's a Stump Daniel involved as well.
There is. It's a little different from normal.
And this whole show is brought to you by Oli Penn Real Estate, I think, and the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz.
Word.
Should I not have said that? Nah.
That's fine.
Anybody listen to our show anyway? I don't know.
Francis does.
That's true. Is Francis here yet? Does somebody need to text Francis? Be like, hey, our show has started.
What I've noticed is that
that's the type of personal care
if someone
you get from us.
If someone subscribes to our YouTube channel, I think they get a notification on their phone when we go live.
They need to hit the bell to get the notification. That's what the bell is.
So
hit the bell.
Subscribe and hit the bell.
Yeah.
You want a notification for when we go live.
You do want to know, not if. You do want a notification for when we go live.
You want it.
You want it.
Let's get it going with the 2-minute drill.
Let's go, huddle up. Gotta hurry. Hey, 2-minute situation. 44 seconds, hand the ball to ref. Gonna do it right. 3-jet Buckeye, don't worry.
The 2-minute drill starts now.
The Seattle Seahawks used the 5th overall pick in the NFL draft to select Illinois cornerback Devin Witherspoon. Devin or Devon? Devin Witherspoon. Daniel, do you like the pick?
I don't. I like him as a player, but your defensive line is non-existent right now, and Jalen Carter and Tyree Wilson were both there. So I think I like him talent-wise as much as those other two guys, but since I like you as much, I'm going to need the position of need. And the defensive tackle position was very lean in this draft, according to so many sources, and yet they went corner instead of the spot they need with a ton of talent. I don't know.
Yeah.
Later in the first round, the Seahawks selected Ohio State wideout Jackson Smith-Njigba with the 20th pick. Justin, what do you think of that selection?
At the time, I was like, a wide receiver? Like, I get that you have to have a third wide receiver, but it's one of the positions that at your top two, you're like most set at of all the positions with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. I think at the end of the first round, I made peace with the fact that, okay, they didn't address the defensive line like I hoped that they would, but they did get the top player on the board at two different very important positions. They got the number one wide receiver on the board and the number one cornerback on the board. And at the end of the day, I think because I like both of the players, I felt comfortable with the way the first round shook out. Seattle used its 2 second-round picks on Auburn edge rusher Derek Hall and UCLA running back Zach Charbonnet. Daniel, do you see either or both of those guys getting in the mix for the Seahawks this season?
I think Derek Hall probably will, just because there's a wide variety of uses and a large rotation of players that they tend to use with the edge rushers. Mm-hmm. And Charbonnet, absolutely. I mean, how many running backs do the Seahawks go through every year? It seems like 6.
They have one.
They have
currently.
one right now.
Yeah.
And
they have 2. They have DJ Dallas, too.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot about DJ Dallas.
Is he still under contract?
I think so. I think it was Homer that left.
Oh, okay.
Because Dallas was drafted
I think they have
after
one
him.
more year of Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have Walker and Dallas. And if you've watched Charbonnet highlights, he does not run like a Frenchman. Which is what his name sounds like. The Hawks had 6 picks in rounds 4 through 7.
He doesn't give up easy, is what you're saying.
No, he doesn't go out of bounds either. Justin, which of those picks is most interesting to you?
I would say, especially because they did not address defensive tackle early with J. Carter.
There you go.
Banana. I think the Mississippi State defensive tackle Cameron Young, who they selected in the 4th round, who is a mountain of a man at 304 pounds. He also has really long arms for his height. A lot of what I saw in his draft sheet was long arms, strong, can shed blocks. He doesn't have elite athleticism, and he sometimes can get beat to the spot. But the quote in the NFL draft profile was, does the dirty work to allow linebackers to flow freely. And I love that so much because I like the way these guys were talking about him and how he can occupy so much space and so much attention in the middle. And that's what you need when you have guys like Jordan Brooks and Bobby Wagner and Devin Bush coming from the backside. Let those guys clean up the mess after you've occupied the offensive players.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I thought there was another.
I think
can't read.
we all probably kind of experienced the first round similarly.
Yeah.
Because when the Devin Witherspoon pick came up, I was like, all right, I had like 3 or 4 different players in my head that they might pick, and he was not one of them.
Right?
Because even
Seriously.
I know Pete Carroll always says, people always say Pete Carroll's a defensive back guy. He loves to pick corners, and that's true. But he usually picks guys later in the draft because he thinks he can fix them.
Exactly. He's never picked one higher than the 3rd round.
And for the record, Pete in the press conference after the first round said that they had never in all of their drafting seen a corner as talented as Witherspoon on the board.
Yeah,
So
he did say that.
they are saying that he is that good.
And
if you-
I can't wait
I
to
mean-
dig into his highlights. I'm really disappointed because I love watching. You guys know I love watching corner highlights specifically, right? Like when they had, who was it recently? There was that guy from Texas. Was it Texas who they drafted at corner a few years ago? And I watched his highlights, and I said most of his highlights were him getting beat.
Yeah.
So I'm really
Trey Brown?
Yeah,
Most
Trey
of
Brown,
these-
who actually did a lot better than I thought he would.
Yeah.
Still, apparently, they don't trust him enough to actually keep starting because he had a decent end to the year 2 years ago and
Or
then
they'll be
never
moving
touched
him.
the field.
Well, who will they have inside now?
Probably still
Kobe White?
or
Kobe, yeah,
Kobe
probably
Bryant?
Kobe Bryant.
Sorry,
Kobe
I
Bryant.
mixed him up with a former
And-
Tar Heel basketball player. My bad.
and Mike Jackson. I'm sure will probably get a shot to help out inside at some point too. But now it seems like your starting corners are probably going to be Woolen and Witherspoon, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
they also have that third safety that they signed, and you know they love to go big nickel. So the third extra guy on the field could
They
be...
lost Ryan, right?
Yeah, they lost Ryan Neal.
Yeah,
That's
I
who
can't
you're talking
remember
about.
the name of the other
But you're
safety.
thinking Love?
Yeah.
No, is it Love?
I think it is.
But
Sounds
it's-
right.
Is it?
Damian Love or something like that?
It's not Jordan. Isn't Jordan Love the quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's,
so
I think it's Damian. I want to say it's Damian.
That doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, you're calling him the third safety. You're assuming that Jamal Adams is going to be able to play more than like 2 snaps.
Fair.
That's most likely your second safety.
Fair.
And Jamal Adams also can't catch if you underhanded the ball to him.
I
So
had.
he's more of a linebacker.
I heard some analysts saying on the radio, so local analysts
Yeah.
saying that having two corners that good on the outside has the potential to allow Adams to not play cover safety at all.
Yeah.
Or not not be ever put in a position of coverage.
Yes.
And being able to just be doing the downhill run stopping inside the box stuff.
Which would be good.
Yeah.
It was a mix of Jordan and Damian. It
Oh.
was Julian.
Oh,
Julian Love.
it's LaDamian Washington, which is an office quote. You're welcome.
So yeah, I love a good corner. So the thing that jumps out about this guy,
I really loved your extended. So yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
I want to clip it and make it one of our sounder. So
this guy hits.
I forgot what I was saying, but I can remember it by the time I say so.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. This guy hits though. Is the thing that's different, right? So is that what they see that's different and better than any other corner they've ever seen? Because you watch his ball skills, and yes, they're good, but there's obviously been corners over the past 10 years who have at least as good ball skills and coverage skills as this guy. So is that the only difference? Is they see this guy as the makeup of a corner who actually likes to hit, and he's got the other talent? That's the only thing I can think of. And in that case, cool. Tackling is about the least valuable attribute of a corner there is.
See, that's what you think as a non-tackling corner. But
It's true.
But Pete Carroll disagrees.
I played corner like Deion Sanders. Somebody's running at me. Slow him down, maybe.
Dive at his feet. Hope he trips.
But did I lead the league in interceptions? I don't know. I didn't know how to keep track of that. But I did have a lot.
How many? 7?
5?
Oh,
We didn't play that many games.
true.
Yeah. Did anybody score a touchdown on me? On a reception? No.
On a reception.
I'm sure there was a running play that went around me at one
And
point.
if the guy catches the ball in front of you, it doesn't count. It's
No, that
only if
does-
he beats you for the
Okay.
touchdown.
No, that does count.
Oh.
No touchdowns. Not one. What's more important, being able to tackle well or to keep the best receivers from scoring touchdowns left and right, especially in the NFL, which last I checked, people throw 40, 50 times a game.
I will assume that Pete Carroll believes Devin Witherspoon can cover.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can cover is great, but we've seen corners over the last 10 years, and he's like, nope, this is the best one we've ever seen. There's no way he's a better cover corner than anybody over the last 10 years. I mean,
Why
maybe
not?
he is.
That seems like
It's a blanket statement, right?
yeah. It seems like at one of the last 10 years, one of the top corner will have been the best corner,
Yeah.
and everyone seems to agree that this was the best corner coming out this year. Like there's no people going, oh, they reached for that.
Well,
There's a lot of people saying it doesn't directly address need. No one is saying it's a reach.
no one's saying that he wasn't good enough to be a number 5 pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like, even where he was slotted as an overall ranking was like 7.
Right.
So it's not like they picked somebody.
Exactly.
It wasn't a traditional Pete Carroll. I picked somebody that was, projected 2 rounds later thing.
Right.
It,
Exactly.
To me, it really felt like they left their older strategy of like trying to be cute, and this draft they were just like, who's the best player available to us right now, and they took it. That's what
And
it
you know
felt
what?
like.
If that's what it is, then I can get behind that.
The one exception
And-
to that is that they didn't take Jalen Carter, who everyone says is incredibly talented, which to me means that they didn't think that he had the maturity.
You're right,
and
and I should trust him on that, right?
I mean,
the Philadelphia Eagles already have a boss defensive line, and they just threw him into it.
Yeah.
I just feel like they were just gifted that, and so
Yeah.
that scares the crap out of me to think
Just
that
said boss.
that was a early 2000s move, wasn't it?
That's so boss.
That's so boss.
But you're right, though.
So-
I was thinking the exact same thing when I saw that. I was like, oh, of course. Jalen Carter slid. He slid right to the best roster in the NFL.
Exactly.
yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, crap. I am hoping Witherspoon's the type of player that I hope turns into the player they think he is. I'm going to be rooting for that. So this is, like, I'm saying all of this with that caveat that I think he could be great. I'm just, when I hear comments from anybody who's like, this is the best we've ever seen, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, and obviously they're going to say stuff like that about
Yeah,
their number one,
like-
their top pick.
What
Yeah.
a load of garbage, though. Can't you just say that he's the best corner we've seen in a while, or that he's the best corner in this draft by far? We love this guy. We love everything about him. Not, this is by far the best we've seen since we've been here. Like,
I also wonder if,
come on.
if it's
Can we
possible-
skip some hyperbole, Pete?
since we were talking about Jalen Carter, I wonder if it's possible that You know, because the Seahawks have been a team that roll the dice on character guys, like guys with character issues,
Right.
but never in like the top 10,
That's
right?
true, yeah.
So is it possible that Pete thought, okay, maybe this is a guy that if he slid, we'd definitely take the chance on it, but if we're picking a top 5 guy, we need to know that this is not only an elite player, but also somebody we're not going to have to worry about, which I can get behind. I was really hoping going into the draft that they were going to end up with Jalen Carter.
Me too.
Me too.
But I was also hoping that they would trade back and get Jalen Carter. That was like ideal situation
Yeah.
for me.
So maybe he'll slide out of the top 10.
The more I'm talking to you guys, the more I'm feeling good about the pick.
Mm-hmm.
But their defensive line, how good do your corners and safeties have to be if the quarterback's got 10 seconds to throw?
Well, they have.
Or if you're getting
obviously-
run over. Last
Yeah.
year they got absolutely trampled in the running game.
Well, their run
Just
defense is terrible.
mauled.
But they have added a defensive lineman because they got that guy from Denver whose name I can't remember.
That's
they
true.
signed as a free agent. And also, if they have Jamal Adams on the field, that does make a difference around the line of scrimmage because he is a strong, sure tackler. So, in theory, I feel like that would
And they
help
got
against
Bobby
the
Wagner.
run game as well. And they got Bobby Wagner back. So, I feel like they are going back to this strategy that we talked about for years and years where they didn't build their defense from the inside out like so many other teams do. They were going to be strong in the back with Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor and Richard Sherman and, whether it was Walter Thurmond or Byron Maxwell or Brandon Browner. Like they were going to have a defensive backfield that was going to hit you and they were going to make it hurt. And then whatever happened up front, they'd get guys for a year or two in that would make plays, but they built it from the back forward.
Yeah.
And it just struck me that their defensive backfield is going to be really dang good this year.
Really good, yeah.
So if they can do that, that will help up front. Make things harder on the quarterback to get rid of the ball quicker.
That's true.
And their linebacking core, at least on the interior, should be pretty good as well.
It's true. It's true.
Super Bowl bound is what I'm
can't-
saying.
You can't hit people and make it hurt as much as you could in the secondary, though. Remember?
That's true.
Cam
Because they're
Chancellor you can't do Cam Chancellor things anymore.
It's
the
true.
rules are a little bit.
That and also the Seahawks were like the first team to kind of implement the I'm going to interfere with you on every play and challenge the referees to call it.
Well, I think the Patriots in that Super Bowl against the greatest show on turf did the same thing.
I wasn't
right?
talking about for a single game. I was talking about for a full season.
That's a good point.
Like
yeah.
their whole strategy was you're not going to call pass interference on every play.
Right.
I'm just going to do it and put the pressure on you.
Every time you mention Brandon Browner, I have this very mixed series of emotions that goes through my brain. Because at first I'm like, Oregon State Beaver. Ugh.
Really bad
Currently
dude.
in
Really
prison.
bad dude. Legion of Boom. Oh, he's just,
Yeah.
Really bad dude.
yeah. Just
So
bums me out.
I do want to the whole thing about Jalen Carter
head's kinda
and
shaped
character
like a
issue or the character concerns. I really hate the way that guys get the draft does this. Like they're like, oh well, character concerns about this guy. That's so general.
Yes.
I do think that Pete and John, especially Pete, are willing to take risks on guys that have been labeled character concerns.
Yeah.
But not I can't think of somebody that they brought in that the specific character concern was maybe not driven, might not care, maybe doesn't love playing football. Yeah. Those things, if they can deal with a guy who's Brandon Browner, who's not a good person.
Yeah.
If that person, if he's gonna work hard, hit hard, love the grind, all that kind of stuff.
I can think of one, and I think I remember similar things being said about Malik McDowell.
I mean,
and that's the only one I can think of.
And that might make them gun shy, but also was Aaron Curry before?
Aaron Curry was before their time.
Yeah.
Because that was the guy where that was a motivation issue
Yep.
as far as everyone seemed to be concerned.
Yep.
That guy got into the league as a high pick and was like, nah, I got my money.
Yeah, exactly. So
now currently coaching linebackers for the Seahawks.
So weird.
So weird.
I do love what you're saying though. That's an excellent distinction.
It's something
The
that I
amount
like
of
to
times
yell at
that
the
Malik
radio every
McDowell
time.
came up this week.
Yes.
It's
hilarious.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's so true. With the Njigba, he was the only when were we talking about it? We were talking about receiver at some point last week in the show, I think. And I think I was like, I don't really like any of these guys. As soon as they drafted him, it popped up into my head, and I was like, oh, except that guy.
Well,
that was the only one that I've heard anything about that I'm like, I like that guy, because in my mind, the things I hear about him are the same things I heard about Tyler Lockett, except for maybe not as fast. But that's the type of receiver I want you to draft, is the guy who's a route running technician. Like when they drafted Eskridge from the small college, and everybody was like, oh, look how fast he is. And I went and watched his highlights, and I was like,
go route.
He runs
route.
faster than anyone else on the field. That's the only reason he's open.
And he's playing against small college talent.
Right.
So it's not like he was running past legit dudes in the Big Ten, the SEC, the Pac-12. He was running past small college dudes, and I'm like, that doesn't translate. It wasn't Percy Harvin speed, where he was head and shoulders above the best in college football. It was, he's head and shoulders against a bunch of dudes who went and played small college football. Like, could I keep up with Dwayne Eskridge? No. But that type of, you have to have some craftiness if you're that level of fast. And it's turned out like he had no feel as a wide receiver. So when I watch Njigba highlights and I hear people talking about his film and how he's just always open, and it seems weird because it doesn't seem like he's the fastest guy in the field, and yet somehow he's, no matter what, open. And then he also has a ton of pretty darn good physical attributes to go along with that. That's the type of receiver that I get excited about, and I think he's going to be really successful, and I think he's the perfect person to bring in alongside a DK Metcalf, alongside a Tyler Lockett, to learn from both of those guys, especially Tyler Lockett, and then maybe, who knows, be the heir apparent, because Tyler's getting older. I don't know how much longer he's going to be around. I hope it's for a long time. He's my favorite player.
If he's not wearing a hat or a helmet, he looks 57.
Exactly. Super weird. But Njigba seems like the type of person that I would want to be the heir apparent to Tyler Lockett. So I'm pretty excited about that pick. At the time I was like, what? Receiver? And then I was like, oh, that could be really cool. So
yeah, I think we did experience the first round the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like both of the picks were kind of surprising. Didn't really seem like they addressed positions of need, but we like the players at the end of it, so it's okay.
And then when I don't know anything about the outside linebacker from Auburn.
Hall.
Yeah, did you hear what did you hear about him?
I didn't hear people talking about him, but reading the write up on him, he was an outside linebacker that they're classifying as an edge rusher in the draft. But they said that his development had been a bit slow because he was asked to drop back into coverage so much. And to me, that sounds like what the Seahawks like to do with their outside linebackers. So it didn't sound like he's going to be a D end in the 3-4. He's going to be an outside linebacker that's rushing and covering.
He's going to play the Darrell Taylor role.
Yeah, that's, I think.
And what they would hope that he could be is a consistent version of Darrell Taylor.
Yes.
Because Darrell Taylor, while the man hits like a freaking jackhammer, is not consistently good or in the right spots. And so that they're looking for someone who can do something similar, but do it more consistently.
Basically, they want Bruce Irvin. They want prime Bruce Irvin.
Yeah.
Because Bruce was an amazing...
Bruce, no!
Yes. He was an amazing pass rusher who also was physically gifted enough and talented enough to drop back in coverage.
This guy's huge, though. He's like 6'3", 250 something.
Wasn't Bruce Irvin... I mean, Bruce Irvin was a first-round top 15 talent.
That was one of those first-round picks that people were shocked by, though.
That's true. I'm getting really upset. I'm on this one link, and I want them to not only put the college and the pick and the round they're from, but how big they are.
Oh, well, just
and I'm not finding that.
Just go to the ESPN app.
Okay.
Everyone has the ESPN.
I don't have the ESPN app.
And then you go to the little thing, and then you go to NFL.
Okay.
And you go to draft. And if you go by team,
riveting radio.
Seahawks, and Derek Hall is 6'3", 254.
Okay, so big dude. But he doesn't look 254. Like, you look at him, the dude's shredded.
Yeah.
Holy crap. The running back,
Yeah.
I might be a little biased because I don't know. It seems like when Brock Hewitt has done his, hey, I don't know if the Seahawks are going to pick these guys, but these are the type of guys that I've seen in college that I think would be good Seahawks. It's
half of them are Kansas State guys because he did a lot of Kansas State
Yeah.
games. Yeah,
that's true. But over the years, a decent amount of guys have ended up being Seahawks.
that's true.
So his track record is pretty good. And he loved Zach Charbonnet from UCLA. And you watch his highlights, he doesn't seem like the fastest. He
He's
doesn't
not.
seem like the quickest.
He isn't.
But he'll run you over. And he seemed like he had good vision, and he seemed like a good runner. So I think as your number 2 back, I think he'll do great.
I heard people saying that he was the Thunder to I just blanked out. Our current running back.
Kenneth Walker?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to Kenneth Walker's Lightning, and
Kenneth
that
Walker's got
it's
some
a
thunder,
pattern that it's
Kenneth Walker's got everything.
it's a pattern that Pete has used even back since his early
USC
days. He likes
Wendell
to have
White.
he likes to have a hard runner and a quick runner.
Yep.
So
And
Reggie Bush, Lendell White, the best example of that.
those
almost
are
ever.
the two
Oh.
the two names that were mentioned.
Oh my gosh! And then Lendell White just was not good in the NFL.
this Charbonnet guy,
Yeah.
saying his name makes me feel annoyed.
Charbonnet.
I know.
But I was reading
Just call
through
him
his
Zach.
draft profile. He only ran a 4.53 40. So it's fast, but it's
not slow.
No,
for
it's
a
not.
running
It's
back.
fast.
It's yeah.
But it's not like top level speed.
Yeah.
But the things they're saying about him, which by the way, he was the 3rd ranked running back, and both of the other 2 went like top 12.
Yeah, it was
They both went
crazy.
really early.
I was shocked at how high the running backs.
Yeah,
were.
I know,
But
especially
his-
after how much that was like how much we were hearing about how it was terrible to pick a running back in the first round
Yeah.
ever, like just a few years ago.
Yeah.
His strengths were listed as power, patience, ball security. If that doesn't scream Pete Carroll running game, I
Yes.
don't know what does.
Absolutely.
They said that sometimes he might not be as decisive or he might not be able to find the right cutting lane, but he's a very powerful runner. He averaged 7 yards per carry last year for UCLA, scored 14 touchdowns, and had 1,359 yards. In addition to that, he can catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He's an excellent receiver, 37 catches for 321 receiving yards in 10 games last year. He had an incredibly productive career in 2 years at UCLA.
Yeah.
Like that's big time football. That's top level football, and he's averaging 7 yards per carry.
Yep.
At the top of college football. So I think his track record speaks for itself. He's going to be a
Exactly.
good player.
And didn't he, as a freshman, play for Michigan and break a school record or something? Or
I
lead
think
them?
he played 2 years in Michigan and 2 years at UCLA.
And I think his Michigan stats his first year were just ridiculous, and then didn't get much of an opportunity the second year, and that's why he transferred. But he does have just an excellent track record. The next draft pick, Anthony Bradford, I don't know offensive lineman besides he seems big. So
Yeah, that one I wasn't as excited about. That was listed as an upside pick. Like
Okay.
this is a guy who, he's slow.
yeah,
He's slow and he's not quick, but he's big and he's powerful. If we can teach him the right techniques, he's got the right kind of body and the right kind of physical attributes to make him productive. I wasn't feeling super excited about that. The draft analysts on ESPN really liked that pick.
Okay.
For where they selected him, they thought, hey, this is a good upside guy who could end up being a very productive guard. But it
Gotcha.
didn't seem like anybody thought he was going to jump in and be part of the team right away.
gotcha. The next,
By the way, Michigan, Charbonnet in Michigan, as a freshman, carried the ball 149 times for 726 yards and 11 touchdowns.
wow.
So
So
pretty
was
impressive as a freshman.
Yeah, impressive as a freshman. Maybe it was just a freshman stat or something. I
Well,
was seeing,
11
'cause-
touchdowns is a lot.
Yeah.
So if maybe he broke a touchdowns record for freshmen. or
Yeah.
something.
The next guy in the 4th round, they take Cameron Young, the defensive tackle you talked about in the 2-minute drill. Absolutely need a defensive tackle. And the
we-
description.
We didn't have a nose tackle on
Right.
the roster until that.
And this is the thing that's interesting. So we have some defensive tackles on the roster, but it's a 3-4. So are you playing? Is one of the technically an end because the people who are actually like the edge rushers are linebackers.
Yeah.
So is one of those guys, I'm assuming one of the ends is another D tackle, is technically how it is?
They always aim for somebody who's kind of in between.
Gotcha. So I think that's what Draymond Jones is.
Yeah.
The guy that we got. And then Jaron Reed, I guess, could be called kind of in between. So is this guy, are you thinking 304 is a nose tackle? Because that's about as light as I would like my nose tackle, who's not Poona Ford, who is also 5'10" or whatever he is. So while he is a nose tackle, and I love the description you read about him, which was does the dirty work and allows running backs or linebackers to run around, which is what you want, he does seem a little undersized for my ideal 3-4 nose tackle.
I believe what they were saying about him is that he makes up for some of his physical deficiencies with great strength and reach.
Okay.
Like his arms, I
heard a lot of talk about his arms.
They were talking a lot about how long his arms are and
Okay.
how far he can reach with his arms.
So he's one of those guys. He's one of those Donkey Kong dudes who, like, the arms are way longer than his height, or at least somewhat longer. But he is 6'3", so if you're talking about somebody's arms like that at 6'3", then they must be super duper long.
Yeah.
Next one, they also go Mike Morris, who's a defensive end, defensive tackle, so that again seems like that mix. Gosh, and then it goes back to offensive line. I can't talk about offensive line.
You just don't want to
safety,
say his
running back.
name.
Which one?
The center. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but the Michigan
Oluwatimi.
center. I just thought that was...
Olusegun Oluwatimi. I have no idea if that's right. And then another running back, Kenny McIntosh at Georgia. So yeah, interesting draft. I got the feeling with this draft that you're going to get, like, I think just because defensive line was so weak going into this draft that you will see Mike Morris, you will see Cameron Young, they will get time as either starters or significant playing time this year. I don't think any of the offensive linemen they drafted will get significant time this year unless there's an injury. Kenny McIntosh, we've seen so many running back injuries, maybe. The safety, who knows if he'll even make the team because they have so many high-level safeties, and it seems like safeties are the type of guys that you can pick up. It feels like you can find a Ryan Neal every now and then. Maybe not as good as Ryan Neal, but he came out of nowhere. He was like some random practice squad dude.
Yeah.
So it seems like safety is the type of position where you can find some worth off the street like that. And then it goes back to the top 4 picks, which is Charbonnet. Yes, he'll play. Hall will definitely get his shot. He was your top second-round pick. Jackson Smith and Jigba, and obviously Witherspoon. So we'll see. I like it overall. I'm a little surprised they didn't take a quarterback anywhere. Anybody else feel that way?
Yes, a little bit. I expected them to pick one up late, like 6th, 7th round, just because they're gonna sign one.
I wondered
like
if
they
they
only
would've...
have 2 on the roster. They're gonna pick one up for spring training, for preseason at least.
I was wondering if they would have gambled on Levis or Hendon Hooker if they had fallen just a little bit further. Because Levis was picked just a few ahead of them in the second round, and where Hendon Hooker was selected, I remember thinking, okay, this guy's sliding. He's a little older. He's coming off a knee injury. Teams are kind of scared by it, but the Seahawks wouldn't need him to play right away. So I was hoping maybe he'd slide a little further, and he would be the kind of guy that Pete would really like. But I guess I didn't. Overall, I didn't think it was super weird because as far as this year goes, they know they have Geno Smith. They still have Drew Lock under contract as a backup, so they can wait till next year.
I started hearing people say, "Oh, well, the quarterback draft next year is way better," and it's like
they say that every year.
Yeah, they say that every year, and B, there's no way. I mean, if the Seahawks have a top 5 pick next year, what the heck happened?
True.
There's no way they're going to be in a position to draft a good quarterback next year.
On the Dan Patrick show,
no chance.
I was low key kind of hoping that they were going to make a trade back and into the first round of next year, like with 2 first rounds. I was like, what if they traded like the number 5 overall pick for somebody's first and second pick next year or something like that, but nothing happened. So
Yeah.
Last year they kept saying nobody's going to pick quarterbacks this year because the quarterback crop is way better next year, and that turned out to be true. Really, nobody picked quarterbacks last year. Pickett was the only one in the first round.
Yeah.
Sam Howell, Malik Williams, they all slid really far. In this year's draft, I think this was supposed to be a better quarterback crop. There was 3 guys on the Dan Patrick Show. They were talking about, well, the guys coming out next year, all 3 of them could be more highly rated than all the quarterbacks in this year's draft. One of them was Caleb Williams. One of them was Drake May, and the other one was Penix, whose first name I can't even remember. Is it Michael?
Michael Penix. Yeah.
Michael Penix,
Yeah.
which I'm congratulating myself for pronouncing it that way.
known husky.
Because I really wanted to say Penix.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it.
That's
Well, you kind of did now.
That's always the funny thing, though, right? Like, they're always like, oh, well, we don't think quarterbacks are going to go this high this year because next year they're going to be better. And it's like, who's to say the same teams are going to have a shot next year?
And-
Like, that is such
Well,
a
Daniel.
bizarre way of thinking.
And going into the
Like,
season
we
2
know
years
that-
ago,
we know
Spencer
that the
Rattler was supposed to be the
Texans
number
and the
1 overall
Jets-
pick coming out of Oklahoma, and
Yeah.
then he was terrible.
Awful.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, so the whole wait till next year because the quarterbacks are going to be better, that's just assuming your team is going to be terrible again.
Well, I think it's also it might be more assuming that if you want somebody in the top 3 or 4, that most teams will have enough to get up that high if they want to sell everything, right? Like I'm not saying that's true, but that seems like what the assumption is.
I guess, yeah. I mean, that might be the most logical way you could put that. It makes sense.
We don't have room for logic here.
Yeah. Well, neither does the NFL draft with quarterbacks most of the time. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson's going to be terrible. And when I was hearing that the Seahawks were interested in, I was like, as a defensive end, sign me up. That dude is nutso when it comes to athletic ability. As a quarterback, heck no. Dude plays like Tebow. Get me out of there.
He plays like Daniel's favorite quarterback of all time.
Except for he doesn't win.
But isn't it funny,
Except
though?
for he doesn't win.
Isn't it funny, though, how Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts have kind of changed the game for how people view accuracy coming out of college? Because for years and years, it was always, well, there's one thing that you can't teach, and that's accuracy.
Yeah.
Like, if a guy's inaccurate, he'll always be inaccurate. And it was proven time and time again with guys like, Vince Young and many others.
Yes.
That was a little heartbreak for me. But I think that because people watch Josh Allen, not only in college at times, but also in the pros, be just an inaccurate thrower.
Yeah.
And now he's a stud.
Yep.
And the one knock on Jalen Hurts and the reason why he got benched for Tua at Alabama and then it ended up eventually having to transfer is it was accuracy.
Yeah.
I watched him last year. He did not seem to have an accuracy issue.
Right.
So these guys have kind of like, in the same way that Russell Wilson and Drew Brees broke that whole you can't have a 6-foot quarterback thing.
Yep.
Your quarterbacks need to be 6'3", 6'4". It feels so much less predictable than ever. Because there used to be things that were universal truths. If
Yep.
you're short, you can't be a quarterback. If you're accurate, you won't get accurate.
Yeah.
And now it's just proven that nobody knows anything.
Yeah.
Quarterback is more of a crapshoot now than it's ever been.
That's true. The short thing was already debunked before that, but nobody wanted to
By
believe
Flutie?
it. Flutie and Fran Tarkenton were both fairly short. Both extremely successful quarterbacks.
Flutie was
But you
super
had
short, wasn't he?
Flutie was like 5'7".
Yeah.
Like, that
Probably
was
still is.
just the... Just the fact that he had any sort of success should have blown that out. But you had all the old school football guys go, nope, I need the big tall guy like Rob Johnson to come in for the Bills and suck in the playoffs.
It is funny, though.
And yet they all stuck with that.
When you wanted examples of short quarterbacks, you have to go to Doug Flutie. And when did Fran Tarkenton play?
Well, that's what I was trying to think of guys before Drew Brees.
Yeah.
And that's been a while.
yeah.
And those are the guys before him who should have broken that mold.
Yeah. So
But
you're saying that
even
there's
though
probably a
Flutie-
lot of short guys in between there that should have got a shot and probably didn't.
Exactly. Fran Tarkenton was back in like the black and white broadcast.
You're standing up for 6-footers everywhere.
I am.
I like it.
Or less. Flutie was
6 foot short guys.
the fact that Flutie had as much success as he did at like 5'7", 5'8", should have made people like borderline 6 foot.
How tall is Doug Flutie?
I want to say he's probably 5'8". I feel
5'10", according to Wikipedia.
Daniel.
Everybody who says they're 5'10", though, they're really 5'8". I mean, everyone knows, right? If there was an official measuring,
Yeah.
Doug Flutie would not be 5'10".
If he was at the combine, I would be shocked.
I think he was like 5'4".
Yeah.
Muggsy Bogues.
Anyway, you get what I'm saying, though, right? Like, they should have given some other quarterbacks more shot, I feel like, because of the success that shorter quarterbacks had before then.
Shorter backs.
When it comes to accuracy...
You didn't like that one?
No. When it comes to accuracy, sure, give people a chance, but you're going to base it on 2 guys over the last 10 years? Like, just because Josh Allen, who A, is a physical monster and also gets a lot of success running over dudes, and also short sample size, right? Like, yes, those guys each had 1 good year with Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, or 2 good years maybe. Like, I don't know. Is that the rule that you want to say is just blown up because 2 guys have had some short-term success? I don't know. Maybe because the game has kind of shifted more to quarterbacks running.
In the way we're hearing people, the media talk about them, it's definitely shifted.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's more what I was
for
driving
sure.
at.
Right.
Just in the general perception.
And I think the general perception is if you're big, strong, and look pretty, then you get to be not accurate and people will take a shot at you no matter what year it is. Like, how long have we had this discussion where people have just drafted people like Jamarcus Russell?
Will Levis,
Jamarcus Russell. I mean, this has been a problem. People have ignored accuracy for forever.
Jacob Eason.
How much does accuracy...
Right? Like this, Jake Locker. I mean, you can name guy after guy who they've completely ignored accuracy because, he's 6'4". Oh my gosh, he's 6'4" and has a cannon.
This could be the Titans fan in me that has a little bit of bias, but I think Jake Locker actually could have been good if his development had not been stunted by injuries, which is the same way I feel about Marcus Mariota. I think both of those guys could have been good if they could have developed without constantly getting hurt.
What about the most recent guy, Malik?
Malik Willis.
Yeah, what do you think about him?
Well,
considering they keep drafting the same guy over and over again is what I see in Tennessee.
Considering the fact
like,
that
they got Steve McNair and they're like, this is awesome. Vince Young's kind of like that. Marcus Mariota's kind of like that. Jake Locker's kind of like that. Malik Willis is kind of like that. Will Levis. I mean, stop it, Tennessee.
Well, I think
pick some other type of quarterback.
What has been proven is that McNair was a way better passer than any of those other guys. But
exactly, but he had the ability to run, and it's almost like they were like, we need a quarterback who looks like he can run.
Vince Young was a dum-dum, and he overthrew everybody.
Yes.
Malik Willis, I think it said everything you need to know about how the Titans feel about him when they were jockeying for playoff position, and Ryan Tannehill was hurt, and they started Josh Dobbs. Like, you're not even the backup, Malik.
Ouch.
So, and then now they drafted a quarterback in the second round.
Yeah. Do you try and turn him into a receiver? Because he is stupid fast.
He's really fast. He could be a running back.
Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to give you some opportunity to talk about the Titans. Are you excited about Will Levis?
No.
How much do you think...
Like, their track record at quarterback's been brutal.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
How much do you think accuracy issues in college could be affected by the receivers you're throwing to, though? Like, do you think...
Probably.
I'm gonna say not that much because you're getting used to the... Like, are you saying because they
I'm
drop
saying,
it?
very
I'm
different
saying
answers.
if you have... If,
Right?
I'm saying...
Like, we have much...
Yeah, if
Like,
you...
are you saying because they drop it so it comes off as an incompletion?
in incompletion
They have
or...
stats to look past
Really?
that.
Okay.
Yes.
That's I wasn't really sure.
And Anthony Richardson's advanced stats
Or-
are also
but
garbage.
also it could also be... I could see how it could be impacted by guys not running like crisp routes. You're throwing the ball... If you're in timing throws, you're throwing the ball where they're supposed to be and they're not there. That
That's
kind of
what I
thing.
was thinking, is that you're trusting your receivers to be in the exact right spot at the exact right time.
in some offenses.
That's true.
Not
Yeah.
many college offenses are based on that. And also, the amount of Oregon State quarterbacks who I've seen come through who have had maybe one receiver who are yet put up enough production to constantly get drafted as backup quarterbacks because there's zero hype around him, but everybody looks at him and goes, oh, yeah, you're a pretty good quarterback and you know how to run this system and you're accurate and you know how to throw a football, when they literally have one receiver on the team. Like, Oregon State is backup quarterback university. It's bonkers how many of them just keep getting drafted and then play second or third string quarterback.
Beavers had a player who was taken in the second round.
Luke Musgrave, baby. Yeah, that dude's a stud tight end.
Yeah.
He'll be good. He'll be a solid tight end.
Isn't it funny, though, that the Packers picked 2 tight ends and a wide receiver with their first 4 picks? They picked a defense. By the way, that Van Ness guy that they picked in the first round, his family totally stole the show from him. But then after that, they immediately picked, I think it was 2 tight ends and a wide receiver with their next 3 picks.
Yeah.
Did you see the Lucas Van Ness stuff?
No.
So
I missed
first of all,
I saw the Will Levis stuff where it looked like he had 2 different girlfriends. Did you see that? At some point, they were showing him, and was one of them his sister?
I think
And are they just really cuddly? Like, that was weird.
Or
I
are
don't
you
know.
thinking of Lucas Van Ness because they look really similar?
I only saw an Instagram reel about it.
Okay, so with Van Ness, he's like surrounded by people.
Right.
On the couch, there's like 4 different girls around him. You find out later that only one is his girlfriend, who is Cole Kmet's sister, who's already a tight end in the NFL, and the others were all his sisters.
Okay.
But at the time, everybody was like, how many girlfriends does this guy have? So,
Just crowd
but
all
the
the
whole
hot
thing,
girls onto the couch.
the whole thing was crazy, right? So, like, he gets picked, he's on the phone.
Yeah.
And I think his dad was the one who was like, his job was to try to make sure that nobody got on him when he was actually on the phone with the team. Okay. His girlfriend comes over to try to kiss him. He says, no, 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 puts a finger up like this to her. And then this drunk guy comes out from the side of the shot and lays on him. And then you see the dad grab him by the shirt and pull him off and get him out of the way. And then the girlfriend, not to be denied her kiss, leaned over while he's on the phone and gives him this like weird, awkward neck kiss behind the ear, just so everybody knows, yeah, that's my man. And I did not get rejected for a kiss. And then after that's over, the girlfriend stands up. First, the girlfriend hugs the mom. They're in a wide angle. The girlfriend gets up, hugs the dad. The dad pats her on the butt. His son's girlfriend on national television during a live broadcast of the NFL draft.
Oh, that's
So
weird.
many things happened in like a 10-second clip where ESPN's like, Van Ness family, like, get your crap together for 10 seconds so we can show our guy getting picked without all this other stuff happening.
All I Googled was Van Ness draft, and the very first thing is Lucas Van Ness' dad slapped son's girlfriend on backside during strange NFL draft celebration.
It was really weird. Like, super. A lot of weird things happened in that 10 to 15 second span. That was the weirdest.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah. You know how some things end with an exclamation point?
Yeah.
That ended with a question mark. Like, what are you doing, guy?
My first thought is when you started talking about the girlfriend was, remember Russell Wilson's girlfriend and then future wife and then future ex-wife? Remember her face? Just complete crazy.
Yeah.
And
Ashton.
The rumors of her and Golden Tate abound.
I think we talked enough NFL draft.
I think we did too.
Probably too much,
but it was kind of fun because I didn't get to pay attention as much as I wanted to this year, so I was kind of selfishly using this time to learn more about what happened, so I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Let's move on to my favorite part of the show.
Serving questions up on a silver platter where the points are made up and the rules don't matter. Time for Stump Daniel.
Stump Daniel is brought to you by the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz, no relation.
What's the A stand for?
Daniel, I'm going to do something a little different this week. It is completely non-sports related. It is based on something that happened in my life.
It says locked wooden crate in parentheses next to it.
Yes, it does.
Is this like a video game where you have to go around smashing crates to
No.
get stuff?
It is not.
I feel like
Daniel,
like
yesterday I had a rare day off with nothing planned.
Oh.
Both of my sons were at their grandparents' house doing work to try to pay for their football camp.
Nice.
So it was just me and my wife and my 8-year-old daughter. And we thought, what would be
time
more
was
fun?
This? I should have invited you over.
Oh, it was all day.
No, we're house sitting. It would have been a great time.
That would have
to
been
you over.
fun.
Yeah.
So what we decided to do was let's do something special since it's just the 3 of us. Let's go get some lunch and get some snacks, and we'll go to the park. You can play on the playground. So we went to Sam Ben Park.
Where did you get lunch? This is a food show.
I know. We went to Safeway.
Hey, Safeway Deli has good food.
And
Yeah, but not what I was expecting. I was expecting like somebody from our Final Four or something like that.
my daughter's very picky,
Okay.
and my wife really likes sushi.
Okay.
And the best place in town, sorry Samurai, the best place in town to get sushi is Safeway.
Whoa.
Fresh sushi
Shots-
at Safeway.
Shots fired.
I don't like sushi, so I don't. It's
Yeah,
not
neither do
my.
I.
It's not my bag.
I agree.
But when it's like, hey, we need to get a lunch and go. It's really easy. Go. They make it fresh every day. So I get too much Chinese food. Angel will get some
Yep.
sushi, and my daughter got some chicken strips and some other stuff, and we got some snacks, and we went to the park.
The Safeway deli's pretty solid now. that I think
It's
about
good
it.
variety.
Yeah.
Good variety.
Yeah.
Also, right now they have that Shanghai special, which is supposed to feed 2 people but can really feed 3.
Oh, nice.
And it's only $2.
And Justin eats it.
It's on sale for $2 more than the regular Supreme combo.
Nice.
So I've just been buying that.
Nice. And that is the opposite. I saw a great reel the other day that says somebody was like, I identify as a male, but KFC says I'm a family of 4.
Pretty good. So we go to the park. We go to Sam Ben Park in Aberdeen.
Okay. Great
Good-
park.
Good playground. Nice little covered picnic area. We
Yep.
brought a blanket to put over the table because the table was yucky.
This was Saturday.
Yeah, roughly noonish.
Okay. We drove by that park at some point this weekend. I can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday, and it was just packed.
Weather was good.
Yeah.
You know, it was sunny, but it wasn't too hot. There was a nice breeze. It was actually a little chilly at
Okay.
times. But as we were there, and we're just eating our food, watching my daughter play on the playground, some people show up in a truck. They get out a charcoal grill smoker thing,
Wow.
a couple of folding tables,
Okay.
and they're setting stuff up. One of the guys, who's a younger guy, I would have estimated probably in his like mid to late 20s,
Okay.
goes to the truck. He gets out a wooden crate with a lock on it. I'm going to say it was roughly 2.5 feet tall. It looks handmade.
Okay.
Roughly 2.5 feet tall, maybe a foot to a foot and a half wide in 2 directions, and it's in a lock. And it's sitting on the table. They're getting everything else ready, getting food prepared, getting ready for a big party of people that's coming.
Okay.
And Angel and I were sitting at the table going, what do you think's in that locked crate? Are they going to steam some crab? But no, I didn't hear any noise from inside of it. So it's
By the
like-
way, it was yesterday that we drove by. So I think we definitely saw this party in like
Okay.
its later stages
Okay.
later that day.
We thought, are they going to do some kind of a live animal sacrifice?
That's what I was wondering. Like, I wasn't thinking sacrifice. I was thinking, are they going to slaughter a pig?
Or is this just one of those like bear boxes? Like if you're camping, you keep your food locked up in a box and you put it up high so a bear can't get it.
Yeah, but why would you bring that to a park?
That's-
You do one or the other.
so
usually.
so at one point we
Both
make
is better.
we make eye contact with the older gentleman. He looked like he might have been the guy's dad.
Okay.
We made eye contact with him. He said, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "Hey, man, we're just sitting over here speculating wildly about what's in that locked crate there."
What's in the box?
So your
I know what's in the
task
What's in the box?
for Stump Daniel
Oh,
is to guess what was inside the locked wooden crate. You can ask me as many questions as you want, but I can't guarantee I'll have all the answers. Daniel, what was in the locked wooden crate at the party at the park?
Okay. Was it bigger than a bread box?
Yes.
Wait,
the thing inside of it or the box itself?
The thing inside of it.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Was it animal?
No.
Vegetable?
No.
Mineral? Was it a rock of some sort?
No. I'm glad you clarified because I was like,
I didn't know. When I said mineral, I was like, I think that means a rock or something. Wait, if it's not animal, vegetable, or mineral, Andrew, what's left?
It has to be animal, vegetable, or mineral. That's the point of the 3 categories.
it is not
Everything
animal
is one
or
of those
vegetable.
3.
So
I guess it's mineral, but I guess I never really thought about how much.
Wood would be vegetable.
Yeah. So, vegetable is anything that's like a plant of any sort.
Not vegetable.
Okay, and an animal is anything that is. Oh, you know what an animal is.
Not
so
animal.
it's
It's
so it's
creepy
kind of a
crawly.
mineral.
Not
of some
animal
sort.
or human.
So it's mineral, but not a rock of some sort.
Correct.
Is it a statue of something? Like a type of statue?
Nope.
In a locked crate? What the heck kind of stuff's happening right
Because
now?
the crate itself was not that weird, but the fact that it was locked,
Yeah.
that was the part that tripped me out.
I was definitely thinking animal here, but now I'm confused. Wait,
You can
it's
give up at any
it's
time.
Sam Ben Park. I feel like Francis would lock up some, like, disc golf discs or something, because I feel like disc golf people are weird.
Good guess, but it's not disc golf discs.
Okay.
Because who would want that?
I feel like the fact that you're giving me as many questions as I want, that there's, like, you have zero thought that I'm going to get this, of what was in a locked wooden crate that was brought to, I'm pretty sure it was a birthday party at a public park.
It was a party.
It wasn't a birthday party?
No.
Weird. Okay.
It was birthday adjacent.
Man, you really had a deep conversation with this older gentleman,
No,
didn't
it
you?
was about 45 seconds.
What is going on? A blocked crate? And it's not an animal? Birthday adjacent? Were these people from North River?
Angel says that she knows what's in the box.
Well, of course she was there! Was it a box or a crate? Could you see, like, were there slats, or was it like...
It was made of slats, but they were all really close together and you couldn't see in it.
Were they from North River? Did you answer that question?
I didn't ask. If I were to guess based on their appearance, I'd say no.
What's that?
Were they
supposed to
from
mean?
this area?
You know, I think that the people who were throwing the party are from this area, but I did overhear them saying that some of their relatives came in from far out of town. So it was a big enough deal to be there that people came from. One of the people, I think he said, drove an hour and a half to be there.
Was it something that created an activity, like a skeet shooter or something? I don't know. Like, was it a mechanism of some sort? I guess.
No.
Dang, what the French toast was in this box?
You can give up at any time.
I love this, by the way, but I'm not sure what it makes for a great radio. Was the box itself something, like it opened up and turned into something like a panorama or something like that?
No.
I hate your...
Yeah, like I tricked you with my
face.
eyes there. Yeah.
That was low. Locked box. I'm gonna give myself 2 more guesses.
Okay.
Or questions leading to them. Was the box holding something that was a special way to cook something?
No.
Was the box holding a statue?
You already guessed that, and no, and why would you lock it?
Why would you lock it?
Okay, I'm just gonna tell you.
All right, what was in the box?
The party, in a very self-indulgent millennial kind of a way, was a gender reveal, and the box contained helium balloons that would go off when you opened it. So in the moment when I asked that man what it was about, I immediately regretted it because I looked at that guy and I said, "How much attention do you need?"
I feel like...
Is there anything, as a guy who has openly said that I'm very self-indulgent in certain instances,
Yes.
I look at a gender reveal and I think, how much attention do you need?
Andrew did a gender reveal.
How much attention do you... Wait, what?
No, it wasn't
No,
Andrew.
I did
Sorry.
not.
Andrew helped with a gender reveal. Sorry. Of their dog.
Can you explain that to me? Because now I'm really confused.
I'm sorry. No, Andrew did not do a gender reveal. It was at the Swallender's house, and so anything firearm related at the Swallender house, I also kind of connect to Andrew.
Firearm related?
Yeah, it was a pretty cool gender reveal.
My sister and brother-in-law did a gender
Hannah's
reveal
losing it over there.
at
crying.
my in-laws' house
Yeah.
because they have a farm with room to set up a
It-
big thing of tannerite and shoot it, and it gave off blue smoke.
Okay.
It was really
It
cool.
was, however, not a party.
It was not a party.
It was a gender reveal.
for close family.
They like
Did they record it and put it
they
on
recorded
social
it
media?
and put it on social media.
I'm
yeah.
sorry,
or
that's
at
not
least
for
they
me.
shared it with their family.
I don't know.
I don't know if they publicized it.
I don't know if they put it on social media. They might have just sent it
His
to like
family is in
chats.
Wyoming.
I
Yeah,
think they
so
just
it
sent
probably was just family chats.
Yeah. So does that still count? I feel like it's a smaller version.
I feel like
I would just text my family, "Hey, we're having a boy."
I
That's what
feel
we did.
like I feel like it was
Sorry, Hannah.
a way of doing the gender reveal that is very popular without doing it self-indulgently. Honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like it was the least self-indulgent way that you can do that. Something
I
like
disagree, but also I have a lot of really stupid opinions on these kind of things, so
I
everyone
will-
should take it for what it's worth.
I also feel stupid that I heard birthday adjacent and a party and had no thought of a gender reveal. Zero thought. Was it a boy or a girl?
I didn't stick around long enough to see the balloons released. I didn't care.
What's in the box? I feel like an idiot. Idiot!
I can think of very few things that, if I'm scrolling through TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, few things that make me roll my eyes more than a gender
The
reveal.
only time I'll watch... Well, see, that's the thing, is for a public consumption, who cares?
Angel says, "You are a millennial. Don't be a grump."
That's the thing, though. Like
She also
for-
is confirming that Justin has stupid opinions about a lot of things.
That's true. The thing about gender reveals, though, I totally get them if you're telling your
would
friends
know.
and family. The whole wanting to get, like, viral with a gender reveal, that's what bothers me.
I love videos of gender reveals that go wrong.
Exactly.
Like the one where there's a ball and the
Yes.
guy has the wife toss it to him and he has a baseball bat.
And he whiffs.
And no, he doesn't whiff. He watches it because he's like, "Oh, that was a bad toss." Then it hits the ground and it explodes pink.
You're right,
Guess
that's
what?
even
It's a
worse.
girl and you suck.
Yes.
Swing the bat.
Yes, agreed. It's a girl and you suck.
I think this seems like a good time to take our first commercial break. Do you have a legal situation and need someone on your side? Let the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz be your advocate. If you've been the victim of medical malpractice, suffered a personal injury, or need representation with real estate law, small business law, or estate planning, let Jeff Domashevitz put his 29 years of experience to work for you. Call Jeff Domashevitz today at 360-612-3991 or visit domashevitzlaw.com. That's DAMASIEWICZLAW.com. Welcome back to the scrimmage. I am Justin Domashevitz, flying solo here because Daniel Hargrove and Andrew Gross have both taken a break from the show, even though the commercial has officially ended. We are going to get into some local sports with the local sports roundup soon. You know what I should do, since everyone else left, is I should just name an Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week now, because I can pick whoever I want. I can pick 3 Bulldogs. No! Daniel is now charging in from the other room because he heard me say that. But yeah, we have a lot of good local sports. Some of the seasons they're not winding down. They're not over regular season yet, but we're starting to get a really good picture of who the best teams are in some of these different sports and some of these different leagues.
We really need to switch our seats back. Pax keeps walking up to me thinking that, hey, the guy who usually sits in this spot loves me. And while I love Pax, not the way that you do.
That's true. No one loves Pax the way I do.
We're all thankful for that.
I interrupted you and then totally broke the whole chain of thought.
You didn't interrupt me. I was filibustering. I didn't let anyone know that both of you ran off.
Yeah, I heard you let... Why I want to know is where Andrew went. I usually run off.
He ran outside, so I assumed he had to pee.
He's neither confirming or denying that.
We've already discussed the fact that I live in the woods.
That's true.
And he loves in the woods. Let's do the local sports roundup. A grand slam off the bat of Bodie Polar helped power Montesano to an 11-5 win over Elma. Bodie bombs. On Monday in Elma, Polar went 2 for 4 in the game with 5 RBI. Carter Studer led the Eagles at the plate, going 3 for 3 with a double, a run, and 2 RBI.
That's a good game.
Josh Willis, Camden Taylor, and Christian Olsen each had 2 hits for the Bulldogs. Monty beat Elma for a second time in the week on Thursday, 9-6, this time in Elma. Polar went 4 for 4 in the game with 3 doubles, 3 runs scored, and 3 RSBI.
Wow.
Caleb Ames added 2 hits, including a double, scored twice, and drove in 4 runs. Taylor got the win, pitching 6 innings and allowed 3 earned runs, and I didn't add it to this, I don't think. Maybe I didn't put it anywhere, but they played actually Monty versus Elma 3 times this week, and Monty won all 3 games, which were really important league games in getting Monty to its ultimate goal.
Stuff like that happens when you play baseball in Grace Harbor in the spring. Because rainouts and then makeup games just all lumped together. Montesano's boys soccer team beat Hoquiam. That's a silly score. 9-0 on Monday. Christopher Tovar scored 4 goals for the Bulldogs. That's a glut.
Yep.
Giovanni Torres, or Schmattrick, added 2 goals. Mateo Sanchez and Felix Romero. Felix, right?
Yeah.
Not
Feliz, which is what I put in there.
I was a little confused. Monty clinched the league title with a 3-2 win over Elma on Friday. The Bulldogs got 2 goals from Mateo, the Renaissance man Sanchez, and 1 from Giovanni Torres.
Sticking with Montesano, their softball team improved to 10-4 on the season, 4-2 in league play, both of those losses to Hoquiam, by the way, with a 12-6 road victory over Elma on Thursday. The Bulldogs recorded 13 hits in the game, led by Jordan Carr, who went 4 for 5 with a triple, a double, and 4 runs scored. Ali Parkin went 3 for 3 with a home run and 2 doubles, a run, and 3 RSBI. Kylie Wisdom also hit a dinger. She went 2 for 5, scoring a run and driving in 4. The Montesano bats were hot in that game.
Jordan missed the cycle with it by a dinger.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So close. Aberdeen's baseball team fell to WF West on Tuesday 8-2. Trevin Nichols and Aiden Baker each recorded 2 hits for the Bobcats.
Hoquiam split a baseball doubleheader with Eatonville on Tuesday at Olympic Stadium, taking the opener 14-3 and dropping the nightcap 14-8. In the Grizzly win, Xander Jump went 2 for 4 with a double, 2 runs and 2 runs scored, also 4 RSBI.
Nice.
In the loss, Joey Bozich recorded 2 hits for the Grizzlies.
PL Willapa Valley's baseball team split a doubleheader with Ilwaco on Tuesday, dropping the opener 4-1, but bouncing back with a 13-8 win in the nightcap. Riley Pearson picked up the win on the mound for the Titans and also went 4 for 7 at the plate across both games with 5 runs scored.
And you're going to notice a theme in this, like Daniel said earlier. There's a lot of doubleheaders because a lot of games are being made up right now.
Yes.
The PL Willapa Valley's softball team swept a doubleheader against Ilwaco on Tuesday. Lauren Emery was the winning pitcher in both games for the Titans, striking out 14 batters across 10 innings, allowing 5 hits and just 1 earned run. Olivia Matlock went 7-9 in the 7-4-9 in the 2 games combined, with 2 doubles, a triple, 7 runs scored, and an RBI.
Emery and Matlock, both studs.
Yeah.
Aberdeen soccer team kept its perfect record intact Wednesday with a 2-1 overtime win at Tumwater. Gil Lopez scored for the Bobcats just before halftime, and Elmer Torres hit the game winner in the extra period.
Elma's soccer team hosted Forks on Wednesday and came away with a 5-0 win. Perennial Athlete of the Week snub Kaysen Seberg scored 2 goals and assisted on 2 others for the Eagles.
Yep. Sorry, Kaysen. Hoquiam's soccer team got a goal apiece from Santiago Martinez and Ulysses
I think so.
Morelia on Wednesday in a 2-0 win over Ilwaco.
A lot of Ilwaco this
Yes,
week.
take that, Ilwaco, fisherman. Jose Fabian assisted. I don't know why I made fun of Ilwaco there. They assisted in both goals. Jose Fabian assisted in both goals. That's one person.
I know why you took a shot at them, because you wanted to flex that you knew Ilwaco's mascot.
Yeah, it was a bad flex. Not a good flex.
Led by Olivia Moore's low round, Elma defeated La Center 190-219 on Tuesday at Oaks Ridge Golf Course. Moore led the Eagles with a score of 37 for her 9-hole round to earn Medalist of the Match honors. Sophia Hamilton scored 47 for the Eagles, with Aubrey Moore and Taylor Staples carding personal best rounds of 48 and 58 respectively. Thank you, Daily World, for that information.
Nice. Also, sad that this will be the last season scheduled at Oaks Ridge. A bummer. Aberdeen, I want to buy a golf course. I don't have any
Ocean Shores just sold.
I don't have any money to, but
That's never gotten anyone's way.
owning a golf course seems like the best job ever.
You just borrow it.
Yeah, that sounds
The
good to me.
American way.
You
Yeah.
would need to buy a golf course that could pay itself back eventually, though,
Ah.
which apparently Oak Ridge can, which stinks.
Yeah, because the tribe, because it was the Chehalis tribe that bought him, right?
I think so.
And they put some money into it. Didn't help. But I like that golf course. I'm sorry, I kind of kiboshed things there. Aberdeen took home the team title at the Sibley Scramble on Monday at the Alderbrook Golf Course in Union, led by the overall low score of 68. Dang, from Britt Radchich and Caitlin McCracken, Aberdeen finished with 154 strokes, one better than WF West and 3 ahead of third place Elma. The Eagles were led by Olivia and Aubrey Moore, who paired to shoot a 69, with Olivia also winning the closest to the pin competition on the 12th hole, and Aubrey claiming the longest drive title on the 15th hole. Nice. Thank you, Daily World, for that information.
Aberdeen's softball team took down Rochester 4-0 on Wednesday. Lily Camp pitched all 7 innings for the Bobcats, allowing just 1 hit and striking out 13.
She's good.
Alyssa Yakovich went 3 for 3 at the dish with 2 doubles and 2 RBI.
She's also good. Costa's softball team, do they exist? Not sure. Split a doubleheader with Forks on Wednesday. Take that, Forks, losing 4-0 and winning 7-6. Jessie Gilbert pitched 14 combined innings. Still not sure if she's real. She allowed 5 earned runs and striking out 26 batters.
Yeah.
Wow. Gilbert went 2 for 3 at the plate with 2 dingers, 3 runs scored, and 4 RBI in Acosta's win. The Wildcats played a non-league doubleheader against Winlock on Tuesday and won. Yeah, that's how you say that word. And won both games. In the first game, Gilbert went 3 for 3 with a triple, 4 runs, 5 RBI, and Acosta won 25-4. What? In the second game, Gilbert pitched 5 innings. So there's, just want to let you know, there's 5 innings. So there's 15 total outs. She pitched 5 innings of 1-hit ball, striking out 14. In a 10-0 Wildcats win. Gilbert also hit a dinger, of course, and a triple, why not, and drove in 4 runs. Golly.
Just some video game stats, man. Hoke Williams softball team beat Ilwaco. Take that, fisherman. 13-3 on Wednesday. Karin Blood was the winning pitcher for the Grizzlies,
Why is everybody playing Milwaukee?
pitching 6 innings without allowing an earned run. Good job, Karin. Ashlyn Cady had 2 hits, including a home run, and Gracie Bonnie Spradlin hit a double and a triple.
Nice. The Grace Harbor Girls U19 WPL team, I know where this is going, closed out their season undefeated on Saturday with an 11-1 win. What? A 1?
Emmy wasn't in when the goal was scored.
Okay. I was going to be upset. Scotland Lecompte and Olivia Thiel, who typically are defensive players, played some forward. Why not when you're up 11-1? And each scored a goal in the match. Jemima Perez scored a glut of goals in the game.
That's 5.
That's 5. Oh, so what's it? When I called the other one a Schmatt trick.
I know there's another name for it, but I can't remember because I think we just decided to replace it with Schmatt Trick.
You're right.
It wasn't glut.
Yeah, I know. 4 is into glut,
Oh, okay.
apparently. I messed
I can
that
go
up.
back in my messages and find
You
it.
probably should.
Or Andrew could Google it really quick. What's a glut of goals? Or
That's
no,
fine.
what's
That's
4
fine.
goals called? That's what we need to know.
yeah.
4 goals, not 4 goals. Gosh, the goals,
Schmatt trick.
the goals that the goals scored.
You really struggle with
The
that.
goals.
Where were you?
Good thing they're not ghosts.
You have been a
because a glut of
disaster.
goals scored by ghouls. A glut of goals scored by ghouls would really be tough to say.
2 is a brace, 3 is a hat trick, 4 is a haul, 5 is
Haul.
a glut, 6 is a double hat trick.
Schmatt trick is definitely better than whatever you said.
You've been a disaster this whole local
Horrible.
sports roundup.
Absolutely terrible. Just miserable. Anyway, Jemima Perez scored a glut of goals in the game. That's 5. Despite playing back on defense for about 20 minutes of the first half. That's silly. Gulls keeper Emmy Spencer was only scored on twice all season and recorded 6 shutouts as a team. The Gulls scored 35 times this season while allowing just 7 goals.
That's going to conclude the local sports roundup finally somehow.
I wish that I didn't have to do the goals ones.
I feel like you make it harder on yourself.
The girls' goals scored.
The girls' goals from Grays Harbor?
Yes.
Yeah. They're great.
It's
There's some great goals scored.
gigantic numbers. Wait,
Yeah.
that's a different sound.
Well, it's the same letter,
Same
though,
letter.
so it still counts. Well, we do have to name an Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week, and I want to run through some college commitments that I promised that I would discuss this week.
Oh, cool.
And I want to do that as well. But we have one more commercial break to get to, so let's take that commercial break, and then we will come back with what you really want to know, is who's the Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week?
At Ole Penn Real Estate, we have solidified our foundation on 4 core values. First, we continuously focus on growing our knowledge in the market and in our practices to bring the highest level of competency to our clients. Second, we provide a high level of integrity, compassion, and kindness in every aspect of our business. Third, we put the human element above business through humor, enthusiasm, and patience. And last but not least, we proactively respond to the needs of our clients. Our mission is to create a personal real estate experience, one person and one home at a time. With Ole Penn, it's personal.
Thank you to our sponsors, the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz, and right there, Ole Penn Real Estate, the sponsor of our Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week, which we will get to now. Justin, what are we looking at?
I'm looking at some college commitments. So I know
That's
last
not
week
the Athlete of the Week.
I teased a couple of these, and then I did a very bad job at following up with which college they were going to play at. So
and
I've got
sometimes college commitments can mean an Athlete of the Week. So
True.
is that why you're adding them into the conversation before that?
There was a point of the show that college commitments were an automatic Athlete of the Week, and it's just not that way anymore.
I know.
Montesano High School had a National Signing Day event where they had 8 athletes there that were all committing to play college sports somewhere.
That's awesome.
There's a few. I know there's a lot we've gotten to. We talked about Jeremy Sawyer. We talked about James Monroe. We've talked about McKinley Dalen. We all know those kids are going on to play at the next level. Carson Daniels, I knew he was doing rodeo. I have confirmed it's at Montana Western. So Carson Daniels will be competing in rodeo at Montana Western.
That seems like the perfect name for a college to have a
That's-
rodeo team.
Yeah.
Not just Montana.
I have an
Western.
interesting fact about 2 colleges that are these commits. I'll leave it for a little bit later.
Okay.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
I like facts.
Josh Wills, I mentioned last week, was going to be playing baseball in college, but I couldn't remember where. It's George Fox University. He's playing baseball at George Fox. Caleb Ames, I saw this past week, committed to play baseball at Grays Harbor College, so he'll still be close by, and we'll get to watch him play. Eric Jacklin, who is a distance runner for Montesano High School, is going to be competing in cross country and track at St. Martin's.
He's an excellent distance runner, by the way.
He's a really very good.
Yep.
Also, Trey Anderson, who is an Aberdeen Bobcat, has been a football player there, big contributor over the last couple years, is going to play football at Cornell College. He had multiple options. I learned literally this year that there's a Cornell College and a Cornell University.
Oh, there's 2 different ones.
Cornell College is actually nearby.
Oh, cool.
So that's a place that he'll be going to play. I don't remember exactly where it is. I think it's in Iowa. I want to say.
You just said it was nearby.
Well, not like...
And it's in Iowa.
But compared
you need
to...
geography class. Iowa is not nearby.
Well, I was saying by comparison to the Cornell...
To what?
The
Europe?
other Cornell. No, to the other Cornell. It's nearby to us. If I need geography class, you need speech lessons.
I do.
Because you didn't even get through geography.
But Iowa is not nearby. I was thinking at least in the northwest somewhere.
It's northwest adjacent. But so is the whole country. So by comparison to the Cornell University that's in the Ivy League, Cornell College is nearby. And that's where Trey Anderson's going to play.
Good for you, Trey.
And I have a fun fact about Cornell College and also University of Montana Western.
Okay.
They are one of a small number of schools of colleges in the U.S. that use a class or a class schedule system called the block plan or OCAT, which is one course at a time. This is about Cornell College. I read it about Cornell, and then I realized that there's a list here of the other colleges that use the plan, and the University of Montana Western is one of those schools. Since 1978, Cornell has divided their school years into blocks of 3.5 weeks each, usually followed by a 4-day block break to round out to 4 weeks, during which students are enrolled in a single class.
Oh, I like that.
So they take one class with 18 class days to learn about the class or learn about the subject and pass that class.
I like that.
I do too. I think that would be awesome.
That's like the opposite of the semester version.
Yeah, where you take
5 or 6 classes or 7, and you're like, which homework do I have due for what? What day is this class on? Because I have Tuesday, Thursday, I have Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It was the most stressful thing for me to try and keep track of what I was doing for which class in a semester schedule, coming from a quarter, which was 3 classes.
Yeah.
So a block thing where you only have to focus on one at a time seems awesome.
I agree. When I read about it, I was like, wow, no kidding. That would have been perfect for me.
Yes, seriously. You wouldn't have forgot that you had a math test outside. That was the other ridiculous thing. Sometimes semesters were like, yeah, this is when your class is, but we're going to have tests at this other random time and day that makes 0 sense. And so Andrew and I were working out one day, and he went and checked the computer and was like, oh, I have a math test right now. And I was like, oh, what time? And he's like, no, it started like 10 minutes ago. That was a stressful time.
Yeah.
Semesters are dumb. Get with it, Wazoo. That's the only thing I hate about Wazoo semesters. Anyway, Justin, you started cracking up laughing at some point during that. I'm really curious as to what you found out. Is it not in Iowa?
It is in Iowa.
Okay.
I pulled up a U.S. map and discovered for the first time how far away Iowa is from here. It's so far! But you could drive to Cornell College in 27 hours if you left right now. I didn't realize how many states are in between us and Iowa.
When you said adjacent, I was really confused.
Apparently what we've just learned is I'm an idiot.
Oh,
also, I have heard there's a very interesting story about Cornell College and Cornell University, and apparently I was told, I haven't looked anything into it, but they're like brothers way back in the day who instituted these two institutions of higher learning,
and one was smart,
in competition with each other, and one of them is an Ivy League school and the other one's a much smaller school.
Yeah.
Not to say that it's a bad school, but like one of them is just very different from the other. And in Iowa, which is right around the corner, 27 hours away by vehicle.
I'm going to give you a little bit of grace that you grew up in Hawaii. That's the only excuse you had.
That's so bad. That was so bad. It's in the Midwest, man.
It's so far away.
It's really
It's
far.
not even the near part of the Midwest.
What's the near part of the Midwest?
I don't know.
to you?
I get
Like Wyoming?
Colorado.
Wyoming's in the Midwest?
I mean, it's the West.
Wow.
The West of the Midwest.
Yeah. So is Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a really...
I don't think those places are Midwest, but they're like
I don't know what they're called. Mountain West?
mountain states probably.
Yeah.
We don't have to dwell on this.
Right.
I want to give, before we do Athlete of the Week, one quick shout out here, assuming I haven't lost all credibility. From Hoquiam, there's a group of 7th grade girls who went and competed in a really big track and field meet in Oregon. And they finished 3rd in the 4x1 relay against all these other teams, which is, it's really impressive. I just want to...
Probably from across the nation if it's at... Was it at Oregon University? Because that's a pretty huge track and field.
Well, the second place team is from Kingsway Christian,
Oh, okay.
and the other team is Housel, which I've never heard of.
Okay,
So.
gotcha.
But the 4 girls that competed in this were Avery Broadhead, Aaliyah Kennedy, Brittany Alcala, and Reneja Burtonshaw. So congratulations to those girls. Big time shout out. I would say we got sent a couple different pictures of them. One of them is Chloe Kennedy's younger sister, and it's very obvious.
Extremely obvious. I thought it was a picture of her younger self.
Yeah, so Aaliyah, actually, is it Aaliyah? It's two A's at the beginning, so it threw me off a little bit. But Aaliyah Kennedy, Chloe Kennedy, phenomenal athlete in Hoquiam right now.
Yep.
Apparently, Aaliyah Kennedy coming up right behind her. And then the other one was Reneja Burtonshaw, which one of the pictures, and I didn't represent the way I responded to this when I told you earlier when we were in the car on the way out here.
Yeah.
Jamie sent me a picture of them, and I looked at Reneja Burtonshaw, and I said, she looks like she could beat Daniel at arm wrestling. I said contend with you at arm wrestling.
I didn't know that you were specifically saying me.
Oh, yeah, you.
I thought you were just saying, like,
my response to
us,
Jamie, and
but no, it's just me.
I feel bad about it. No, none of those girls are beating me at arm wrestling. I looked at Reneja Burtonshaw, and my response was, she looks like she could beat Daniel at arm wrestling.
Probably. I saw that picture too. She's got some guns.
And I don't know why I said it, and it was mean-spirited towards you, but I still think it's true.
Well, she's definitely got more defined arms than I do.
She looks like she lifts.
Yeah. She works out.
So big shout out to those girls. Great job, great accomplishment.
Yeah, and I watched a video of them racing against Tumwater and Montesano, and one way I put this was it looked like a Faith Cardenas race. Remember Faith Cardenas used to run for Aberdeen, where it was like, there she goes across the finish line, and then you have to turn the camera to find the next runners. I think I counted. They won by something like 6 seconds or something like that.
Wow.
Which was it's nuts, for a 4x1. So yeah, they're real fast.
Real fast.
So yeah, congratulations to them, and I'm sure we'll be seeing them very soon with some amazing high school accomplishments as well. Justin, time to stop stalling. It's time for our Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week. We have some nominations.
We do. There's 3 main ones, and there was a lot of kids that did really good stuff this week. So if you remembered anybody from the local sports roundup you want to throw in there, that's totally fine. We had a couple that came in specifically in messages. And then also I'm throwing Jesse Gilbert in there because Jesse Gilbert is the type of athlete who, if we wanted to, we could make an argument for giving her Athlete of the Week every single week. So Jessie, I'll start with that. She pitched in 3 games this week that I could see in the stats. I didn't have full stats from every game, but it looked like in the 3 games she pitched 19 innings and struck out 40 batters. In addition to that, she hit 3 home runs, 2 triples, and drove in 13 runs.
Wow.
Jesse Gilbert's real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she's real. I mean, she's good, but is she real good?
She's real good.
Are you sure she's
but
not
do we know she's real?
Is she a created player? Because you said those are video game numbers at one point. And
I did.
The only time I had video game numbers like that is when I created a player and made all their attributes 99.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But Jesse Gilbert, amazing week for Ocosta softball. I'll also throw in there Jemima Perez, who scored a glut of goals for the Grays Harbor Gulls, despite not even playing forward the entire game.
That's ridiculous.
Scored 5 goals. Jemima is a Hoquiam High School student, and what that Gulls team did this year is really impressive. I know Emmy Spencer had a heck of a year. I feel like Bethany Henderson also was scoring goals every time we turned around. She got a lot of mentions on this show because she scored a lot of goals in a lot of that team's success. So that was a really good team for the Grays Harbor Gulls. But speaking of video game stats, we got to get to Bodie Polar.
Yeah. Before we get to the specific numbers of Bodie Polar, I had a stretch of a week when I was 15, and I was just playing in Babe Ruth, which is like, I was 15 in a league of 14 and 15-year-olds, and I can't remember what teams I played that week, but I had a week where I just felt amazing at the plate. And the way I described it to one of my coaches was I feel like somebody's pitching a beach ball to me. I don't remember my numbers from that week, but it just felt like it was easy to hit the ball. This makes that look silly. Like, This feels like somebody was soft tossing it to Bodie, his numbers. It's ridiculous.
So the official numbers that I got off of the Game Changer app for Montesano Baseball is that Bodie, I heard from someone else that he went 9 for 12. The official stats I got were 8 for 12 this week in 3 games against Elma with a 714 on-base percentage, 3 doubles, 2 home runs, 11 RBI from the leadoff spot, and 6 runs scored in 1 week across 3 games. So you might think to yourself, 3 games, somebody gets hot, that kind of stuff can happen. Let me hit you with Bodie's season stats.
Just nuts.
I think there's 17 games into the season. He is batting... Oh, I typoed here. It's 534.
Oh my gosh.
He's batting 534 with a 641 on-base percentage because he's also walked quite a bit and been hit by pitch 7 times this season. He has a 1.538 OPS.
Just dumb.
31 hits, and this is, I think, the part that, this is the part I've latched onto.
Yeah.
This guy's a leadoff hitter, right?
Uh-huh.
So a lot of leadoff hitters, they get on base, they steal bases, they score a bunch of runs.
Lots of singles.
Bodie has 31 hits. 15 of them are extra base hits. He has 12 doubles and 3 home runs. So he has almost as many extra base hits as he has singles this season. And he's also driven in 23 runs from the leadoff spot and has scored 31 times.
Yeah. Which, the fact that he's driven in that many runs means that the bottom of the Monty order is pretty good at getting them.
It is. They can hit, man. Yeah. That team scores a lot of runs.
Top to bottom, they get on base.
That is accurate. So Bodie Poehler, not only for what he did this week, was nominated, but also for what he's done this season. Holy cow.
I don't think I've ever seen a batting average that high this late into a season in baseball. I don't think I've ever seen anybody over 500. I've seen over 400.
Yeah.
I've never seen over 500 this late in the season that somebody has brought up. This is ridiculous. And he's hitting leadoff. So he statistically probably has more at-bats than anybody on the team.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts.
It does beg the question, why are people pitching to him? But also because the rest of the lineup is pretty good.
Yeah.
So he has protection, and it's not a scenario which you can just say, we're going to put this guy in base. Number 1, they have a lot of other good hitters. Number 2, he's really fast.
I was just going to say that part, too.
So you don't want to put him on base if you don't have to.
A walk is a double.
And also, he's been hit by pitch 7 times. Yeah. So it's not like people are just tossing him meatballs all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm definitely biased here. I've known Bodie since he was a baby. I coached him a little bit. Yes, literally. And I coached him a little bit in Little League, and he is just a better person than he is a baseball player. He is a phenomenal kid.
Yep.
I couldn't speak more highly of him without you just not believing me, because you'll think I'm making somebody up.
Yep.
Bodie's a great kid. He's humble. He's a team player. He works his tail off. He is the type of person that I am thrilled to be saying these things about, because I know the character that he represents.
Yeah.
I know what kind of person Bodie is, and I'm so happy. He's the easiest kid to root for. And
for that reason, if there is ever a wiffle ball tournament, he will have an invite to be on our team, whether we're sponsoring a team or making a team where us old farts play on it. He will be welcome.
Well, because he played on our wiffle ball team last season,
the year before that, too.
Yeah. So I think we kind of have him locked in. Someday when Bodie's playing, professional baseball, we still get to have him come back and play on our wiffle ball team.
He has to take a leave of absence to come play with our wiffle ball team.
Has to.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, except then we'll have to change his name because other people will get upset. So we'll be like, this is Pody Bowler.
Yeah. Like a Madison Bumgardner rodeo situation.
Exactly.
What was his rodeo name?
I can't remember.
Did you see that he got DFA'd? Mad Bum?
I did. I would. Shoot, if I was the Mariners, I'd sign him as my DH.
That's what I was about to say. He hits better than Mariners DHs do.
Easily.
Is Madison Bumgardner, not to sidetrack,
Yeah.
Is he like the most interesting player in the history of baseball?
He might be.
He is, in
up
addition to being like a really great player, he also is like perhaps the greatest World Series pitcher of all time.
He's up there.
If you look at his stats in the
Yeah.
World Series, he secretly did rodeo in the offseason under a fake name.
Yep.
He once dated a woman named Madison Bumgardner, who was not related to him, but she had the same name. Like, if you look at the story of Madison Bumgardner's adult life, there may not be a more interesting
Not right
person
now,
than
Daniel.
him.
Not right now.
No,
Later.
Sorry. I'm pretty sure he also came in the World Series as a pinch hitter and hit a home run.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And I think he's hit a bunch of dingers.
Oh, he's definitely hit a bunch of dingers, but they actually brought him in and let him hit a home run. Like, I mean, seriously. I can't remember who it was, but there was a pitcher was interviewed, and they're like, hey, who's the hardest person to pitch against that you've ever pitched against? And he was like, you're going to think I'm crazy. But it was Madison Bumgarner.
Shut up.
Yeah, it's just stupid. Anyway, I think it's settled. Our Ole Penn Real Estate bias.
Athlete of the week is Madison Bumgardner.
Yeah. If you want to say we're biased, we might be, but I don't care because these numbers are also just stupid. Bodie Pullers are Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week, whether it's Beast Bode or hitting Bodie bombs or throwing Bodie bombs to Beast
Catching
Bode.
Bodie bombs.
Yeah, I mean, he's a stud, and
Yeah.
he is our Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week.
It's too bad he doesn't also play basketball and shoot like really long threes, because those
Yeah.
would be bombs too.
That's true.
Like Bodie does bombs in every way.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we used to call him Beast Bode.
Beast Bode.
But
yeah.
now every time I say that, you're like, Bodie bombs.
Well, I called him Beast Bode in junior high. I started calling him that. Maybe even actually earlier. Oh, you know what? That started because he wore a Marshawn Lynch jersey to church. So I started calling him Beast Bode when he was in grade school. And then it worked out that he ended up being a running back on the junior high teams.
Nice.
And so I continued calling him Beast Bode. Then he started catching 50-yard touchdowns every day. And then we called him Bodie. Then it was Bodie Bombs.
Bodie Bombs, yeah.
And now he's hitting Bodie Bombs.
Yep.
So it's a Beast Bode Bodie Bombs mashup. Beast Bodie Bombs.
Beast bombs.
Beast Bode Bombs.
Beams.
Bodie Beams.
He's our Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week.
Show's over.
That's going to do it for our show because it's gone off the rails quite enough so far. And for a couple weeks. Like, we had enough show derailments this week for a couple weeks. So maybe next week it'll be a real tight ship. Doubt it. Mother's Day. No, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Mother's
next week
Day is
Mother's
2
Day.
weeks. No, isn't it 2 weeks away?
I think it's next week.
I think it's 2 weeks.
We better figure this out.
We need,
This is
yeah.
important.
This is important.
Oh, Hannah says it's 2 weeks away.
2 weeks? Okay.
She knows things.
There we go. Thank you for listening to this scrimmage. For my co-host, Justin thinks Iowa is close to Washington.
Boy,
Domashevitz.
that was embarrassing. And for my co-host, Daniel, can't beat a 7th grade girl in arm wrestling, Hargrove.
I can't. And our producer, Andrew, lives and loves in the woods. Gross. I don't even know why you said that.
Because that happened the last time we were talking about him living in the woods. One of us accidentally said he loves in the woods.
Okay, gotcha. That makes more sense, but I'm still weirded out
He
by
loves
it.
in the woods.
You've been listening to The Scrimmage. Is that a Barry Manilow song?